Hey guys, welcome to my first video. Today we are going to be working on a 1988 Chaparral that I will show you here in a minute. It's a 2550 SX with a 5.7 Merc in it and an Alpha 1 drive. What I will be doing today is replacing the thermostat. She ain't a bad looking boat. There's obviously wear and tear issues that you can expect on an older boat. Those bumper pads could be replaced, the rollers could be replaced. I'm not going to screw with all that right now. My idea was pretty much just to fix what needed fixed and get it out of here, maybe run it for a little bit, and the tires could be replaced, which I might end up doing them. So today my main focus is just going to be the thermostat. There was a bench here that went across here. The previous owner, they snapped the cover down and they didn't put a 2x4 in the middle, so the water sat about right here and it just leaked down into the bench and rotted all of that wood. So I tore all of that out. I tore some of that shelf, it's not part of the stringers or anything, so I'm not too worried about that right now. This, I painted it a bit ago just to kind of clean up in here. I sanded everything down in here. It was raw fiberglass and it just wasn't, it was making my knees all prickly, so I painted it. But the issue that we had was this bolt snapped when I took it out. So that is no bueno. I ended up having to have a shop. We tried to use an easy out. The easy out broke in it, so then we tried to weld it and that didn't work. So when I took it to a shop, they drilled out the hole and then they retapped it with the same size bolt. I have a kit here right there to replace all of the gaskets and bolts and a new thermostat, which this is going to be a pain in the dick to get out. I can already tell just by looking at it, and I'm sure you guys can tell too. What the kit consists of is this gasket will go right on top of there first, and then the thermostat housing will go on top of that, and then this gasket will go on top there, and then I have the cover and the whatever you want to call it, the hook to go on top. But first I need to get this housing out and replace it with the new one. Well, I got the thermostat out. It kind of looks like they previously used some weird gasket that was the wrong one, I'm assuming, because that does not look right. That's sealer right there. This kit came with a plastic piece, and this is like the thermostat housing sleeve, I guess. Well, there's a metal one in here, and so you can see it's like brass or something. I kind of chipped it there. I don't know if I should leave that and just take that gasket out and replace the gasket and then try to leave that. I'm not quite sure. This thermostat's definitely cooked. That's why it ain't doing anything. Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of go from there. So I got the thermostat housing off. As you can see, she is very, very disgusting. Now it's clear, so that's what the nice thing is. I mean, for the most part. But the majority of that stuff in there is because of the slag and pretty much everything else while we were trying to weld. And yeah, there's a bunch of popcorn in there and everything, which should be all right. But if I give it a good wash out and get that, I need to get this jacket out. On the inside here, you can see there's a little, that brass ring that needs to come out, so I can put the gasket in, the new thermostat, and then the new sleeve, which the one that I got is plastic, this one's brass. But yeah, I'll get that out. So I got the old sleeve out. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Here's the new one that's going in, and you got to pay attention. There's a key here that has to line up with the existing one on the housing. Oh, I almost messed up. The gasket goes in first. This little guy here. And I think the housing goes in second, if I'm not mistaken, or the thermostat goes in second, if I'm not mistaken. So gasket, thermostat. Pretty sure it's like this. And then, now the gauge on that boat for the temperature does not work. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to solve my problems. I'm hoping it does. Get her in flush. Looks good to me. I think she's good to go. Before I put it back on the boat, install the gaskets and everything, I'm going to touch the surfaces where the old gaskets were, just to flatten them out, get any dirt and grime and excess gasket off, and then should be ready to go to put it back on. It isn't the cleanest surface, but I'll give it a nice wipe down. It's flat now. I'll get all the excess dirt and grime and shit, especially out those holes. I'll blow it out. I'm gonna do the other side and then get ready to put it back on. Okay, now that we got the new thermostat in the housing, we are good to connect that back to the housing on this little bolt here, which I'm pretty sure that just gives the thermostat messes with the current. Then when the current changes, it sends it through here all the way to the gauge. But this is my first time doing any of this stuff. If I'm doing something wrong, please tell me, or if you have a better idea of how to do something, just let me know. I'm all ears. My fuel gauge also doesn't work. There's something wrong with that I gotta figure out. So if anybody has any ideas, I have seen some YouTube videos of guys just wire brushing the connections from those two wires and the gauge working again, but I haven't really dug into it yet. Let's get this guy back together. I'm also going to use some of this ultra black gasket maker, and for putting on top of these gaskets, I'm just going to do a small bead. I'm just trying to be safe than sorry. I'm also going to be putting anti-seize on these two main bolts that go through the plate, through the thermostat housing, and into the intake manifold, because the last one trying to get it out was a MFer, and I'm not trying to do that again. Yeah, let's get started putting the bead down. My time lapse didn't get it, but I put a nice bead on the other side of that gasket. I'm gonna put a nice bead on top of it, smush this guy down on, and then that'll go on after. Now time for the real nasty part. I got to put anti-seize on these 2 bolts. I've used this on plenty of other things and it works. We use it on my dad's tractor when we take the blades off his butterfly attachment for mowing, and it saves me whenever he's trying to get them off because I'm usually the one that helps him. It doesn't feel very nice. And there we go. New thermostat installed. I'm gonna hook these back up. I'm not trying to spend a bunch of money on it because I'm not planning on having it long. She was running when I bought it. I had the guy run it for me. She sounded great. She wasn't misfiring at all. I need to reattach the thermostat wire right there, and then she's good to go. I can put everything back on. I'm gonna do the oil and fuel filter in the next coming videos, or actually the same video probably. I'll do them both, and then I can put the bench in. I have the bench sitting in the garage over there. I mocked it up, built it. It's not painted or anything. Once I'm done with the engine, I'll put the batteries back. They were sitting over there. I have 2, there's one of the cases, but I'll put them back in. I can get her going, take to the Chesapeake and run her. This is pretty cool. I just got done editing the first video. In next week's video, it will be a hunting video for the opening day of early season waterfowl. That's going to be next week, which is this weekend. I'm gonna do a hunting video with deer this year. I have a cool bit of film from a previous hunt, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.